Okay, 31st of December 2023, last day for today, for this year. What I thought I would do, seeing that there's nothing else going on and it's a Sunday, is back in the day, when I was an apprentice locksmith, we cut standard house keys to code on this machine here. My first boss had one of these, my second boss had one of these, and nobody wants to sell these machines because they just work and they're really accurate. And how it works is you clamp the key in there, you got your shoulder tip, you clamp the key, spacing and depth here, put it in there like that. So a little catch underneath here that you undo it, and it just runs off a pulley. Very simple design, and you can buy different discs. Like, I don't know if you can get them anymore. So what I want to do is, instead of cutting a standard house key, what I'd like to do is change this machine so it cuts a safe key, and we're going to do it to code. I've just measured the keys, and the depth increment is 0.89 of a millimeter. So here's part of the problem that we've got is the spacing. We would definitely have to make a new plate for. These plates are removable and changeable depending on what you're cutting. The depth space here, and that's how this works, is the standard Lockwood 15 thou increment spacing. So 100% we're going to have to make a new disc for this, and we're going to have to make a new spacing disc. We will have to change the cutter, so I have taken that cutter off, and what we will need to do is modify. We've got a cutter, where is it? In the lathe. So this is a slot cutter or milling cutter or whatever you want to call it, not milling, for the old mortise keys. So I've got this one I bought off Alibaba, and what I found is I'm not worried about the internal diameter of that. I can machine something up, but what I am worried about is how much travel I have if I put a key there, and how much spacing it's going to have from there to there. That didn't work. Well, I worked it out, it didn't work. It's not going to work. Then I have this other cutter, and that's too big. And then from the US 001 machine, we have these adapters. So you can get it from 101 or 007. And we have this. So what we're going to do is we're going to machine up a bush for that. And then we've got the spacer that comes off, and then we've got the nut. So we can put that on. The other thing is that if I remove this here, these are changeable. So this is like a stop, and when you change the disc, different keys that you're doing, this is basically a stop where the key sits on top of that to give you your spacing. And what I've had a look at is, if I put a safe key in here, this actually lines up really well. So let's put it there. So we've got a number 6 cut right there. That's the deepest. So if I have a look at it this way, and we move that along, there is enough room to cut a number 6. We've only got a couple of millimeters before we start cutting into this piece here, but we can do it. So we're going to use the shoulder as the flag stop, so we might as well use that. I don't see any reason why I can't do that. Might have to take the spring load off or put some kind of lever there, because you'd need 3 hands to actually line that up. You can probably change that, but we'll line that up like that and use this actually for the stop. And we will be able to get all of our cuts, because 6 is the deepest cut, and that works really well. So we're going to need to obviously change the motor from a 12 volt motor maybe put a 240 in there, see how it spins. We're going to have to machine up some kind of bush and secure that. We're going to have to make a new plate for the spacing. Well, this machine's very dirty and hasn't been used in quite a few years, but it's just sitting around, and I didn't want to I actually about 20 years ago modified this so you can cut bilock. Anybody that knows what bilock is, you'll also know that the depth is also 30 thou. So basically from, you know, every second one you can cut, and then I just made a spacing wheel or plate, whatever they're called, and an adapter to hold that in, and you can cut bilock if you wanted to. But I think it's now got to the stage with all the new machines, you know, Condor, Dolphin, I've got a Triax, I've got 2 HPCs, all of those. I think this machine has now come to its stage where it's been sitting around for way too long, and it's probably time to reuse this. And because I don't do safe keys every day and I don't use this machine is the perfect code machine to actually make into a Ross safe key code machine, I guess. And the spacing, sorry, I might have a look at the Ross 600 lock and see maybe we can, the cutter would still be the same 1.4 millimeters, but we could change these 2 plates, probably make up some more for a Ross 600 and cut a safe key that way. I had a look at the way it's clamping on this, and the flag seems to be fine, and it just will clamp down like that. So I had a look at the HPC and I thought, wonder if I could make up a card, make up an adapter, make all of these things up. And I thought, oh yeah, probably can, but how about having a dedicated machine just for cutting these safe keys and to code? So you can't buy them. Like, I've looked, maybe there is, but I just can't see it. And I thought, that's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. I can see it now. Even if there was something to actually, you know, buy, it's going to be thousands of dollars. So we're not going to be doing that. And I just realized something, that this is obviously a storage place where you put that. I always wondered what that was. It's only until I removed it just now that you can stash that away there. So we're going to get into it. It's going to be a couple of day project for sure. But first of all, we need to secure this. So we need to machine up a bush, make that nice and secure and working. And we'll take it from there. So the bush is now machined up and there is no movement. We're kind of right to go with that. So one job done. Okay, so I thought I'd finish this today. We've drilled the holes in the plates for the space and depth, and we've used the mill with a rotary table to drill that. And we've got a key now, we've got a safe over here. So let's see if we can cut a key to code. And we're just going to run it off 12 volts for the moment. So our first cut is going to be a 4. Our next cut are all 1s, so we don't need to cut those. Then our next one is a 6. this blade is a little bit too thin. Oops, I cut it in the wrong spot. So this key's not going to work. Bugger. Our last cut was a 3. Okay, just looking at the actual key. So this 6 needs to go that way, and this 3 was just cutting on the edge. So we can, this key isn't wasted, we can actually recut that. So I'll line that up. Okay, so just put that in there. We're going to go back to here. So that looks okay to me. Let's go back to 5 and we will cut the 6 in there. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so we need to just take a little bit off that. That last cut looks correct. The 6 I believe needs to go that way just a fraction. And these ones will just clean that up. So we can probably just run a file over it right here as we speak. I won't bother chamfering the edges right this very moment. I just want to see whether that is actually going to work in the lock or not. Could just use verniers. I have to cut a bit of that off. Anyhow, let's go around to the safe and see if it works. So we're unlocked at the moment. And we're slightly out. You can see the bolt wanting to move. So I'd say that that's that 6. It's not, because the width of that 6 is a lot wider. That's the original key. We can see that that 6 is not wide enough and it needs to go that way. So we'll put that back in. Okay, I've just widened that last cut there, and I think that's going to do us. We've still got a bit of a burr on there. It's now going to look kind of similar. Looks alright. Anyhow, let's try it. and we're still no good. So next thing we need to do is use the verniers, and we'll measure it and see what's going on. Okay, so I've just measured it, and they're all about 0.2 to 0.3 of a millimetre too high. So I have given the bolt a little bit of a file just there. See, it's not quite straight. That section there is correct. That's too high. They're all too high. So we will have to adjust this and just come down a fraction, which I will do right now.